Do you want free therapy but don't know how to get it? Well, neither do I. But I have something that I do that helps me more than any therapy in my life has ever helped me. And I think therapy can help you along the way, but it's up to you to really help yourself. And it's up to you to actually do the work. And it's up to you to continue to do the work. And it's up to you to decide when you need to do the work. And it's up to you to upkeep the work. So ultimately, it's all on you to heal yourself and work on the things that you need to work on or that you want to work on to live a better life. And I decided, hey, dude, I want to go into this year with a much healthier mentality, with a much healthier, um, with like much healthier habits. I spent a lot of 2025 feeling like everybody fucking hated me and feeling really unwanted everywhere I went. Like, no matter who I was talking to, I just felt super alone. That's not a good feeling. And I decided to be really vulnerable today and share with you my journal, the questions that I ask myself, because this is a process that I do. It's kind of like having your own like workbook, but instead of buying one, I just get to know your own voices in your head. Like, get to know your thought processes, get to know what's going on inside yourself, really just listen to what's going on inside yourself. People are so busy consuming and scrolling and talking. They don't always reflect. They don't always just sit there with no stimulation. And that's the thing. It's like we need a little bit more time to focus on ourselves, a little bit more time to look inwards, a little bit more time calming down, because our world is so busy and so fast paced and just focused on entertainment, which is fine. It serves its purpose. But if you are struggling with like patterns that you're stuck in or choices that you're making, or you're not talking to yourself kindly in your head, or you're stuck thinking that the world's against you, or whatever the case is, if you lack self confidence, blah, 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 whatever. Like, if you have a certain issue that's really been going on and you don't have a therapist to work with you, I recommend, hey, just start working with yourself. Just start where you can with what you have. And you know what? You do have a brain. So I pretty much used common sense to get to the root of these issues. And I just kept asking myself, like, why do I feel that way? Where did that come from? What first caused that? And what can you, and then follow up questions afterwards. So I'm going to dive in, and I hope this helps someone out there. Mind you, this is really scary. Mind you, I'm not a very vulnerable person. I don't just tell anyone how I feel, is why I write it instead. So doing this is to help other people, because this really helped me. So yeah, I hope I can touch someone out there and help heal them and send them on their way. That's the whole entire purpose of this, because not everyone has the money for therapy. Not everyone knows what books to get, but I think everyone does have time to write in a journal or something. And I got this one at Barnes and Noble. I really, really love it. And the waves to me are symbolizing emotions and fluidity. So all my negative, positive ups and downs, I feel safe writing in this. Some journals I just have to keep gratitude. Some journals I just have to like keep recipes in and like witchcraft in. Some journals I just have for my dreams. And so this one's like all for my emotions, and I write down my feelings. I made a list of thoughts that I wanted to stop thinking or allowing myself to think. The first one that I wrote down out of 24 was that no one wants me, no one loves me, no one likes me, no one cares about me, no one enjoys my presence, and no one appreciates me. Just that whole no one cares. Like, that's the first thought. And after I made the list of all the thoughts that I have that I want to stop thinking, I got a sense of the common theme. A lot of it was low self-worth, need for approval, anxiety, fear of abandonment, fear of rejection, not loving myself, quick mood changes, just no impulse control. I was just feeling really unstable, like I didn't have something to hold on to, something to ground myself to. And there was a time in my life when I was super, super solid with my relationship with God, and I felt very radiant, very abundant, very loved, and very confident and at peace with myself. That went away, that kind of changed. I haven't felt that in a while. And from the lack of feeling that solidity in myself, I was looking to other people to fill that for me. But that is impossible. You can't be fulfilled by other people. Fulfillment comes from within, and then you can share it with other people, but it you can't be filled by anyone else, you know? If the thought is that no one cares and no one loves me, I asked myself a bunch of follow-up questions. I said, how do you know? Has anyone ever said that? Why do you think that? Have you asked them? What would it take to make you think otherwise? What would it look like to be loved? If you want to be loved, is there anything you can do to get that? Stay with me now. Do you make other people feel loved and appreciated? In what ways do people show you that they actually care about you, but in their own language instead of the ways that you're looking for? And in what ways do you feel wanted, supported, loved, and needed? Like, what are things that people do that make you feel loved and seen, and etc.? So the first question is, how do you know? How do you know people hate you? And to be honest, I don't. I don't know. And here's what I wrote. And it was a conversation with myself. I said, to be honest, I don't know for sure. I think if anyone is slightly mad at me, that they automatically hate me. Why? Because I think their love is conditional. I think it's easily taken away. Why do I think that? Well, due to getting kicked out or having my mom ice me out when she was angry or take my things away, I had to learn to not make people mad. So that way the things that I value wouldn't be gone, AKA someone's love for me. I had to learn to hide how I felt and appease others so I could keep surviving and keep my place and not be discarded. So all at once, I bubble up with emotions that I never learned to express and that I was never told that I could. The only way I could physically express myself was through art, and that's the only approved method. And that is why art feels so safe for me, is because I'm free there. And then I asked myself, well, what makes you think people hate you? Like, what do they do? What do they say? And so I made a list. When they don't reply for a few days, or when they don't reach out for a while, I just assume that they moved on and that their feelings completely fade away. And I'm not 100% in their heart and minds anymore. Like, I'm 100% gone. Basically, if someone doesn't talk to me for like a month, I'm like, oh, okay, they've moved on. I just believe I'm temporary in everyone's life. And so if they don't reach out anymore, I assume automatically that it's completely done and they don't like me anymore. And that it was just, that was it. I assume that I'm a toy and then they get tired of playing with me. I assume I served my purpose and then lost my sparkle, and now they moved on once it got real or once they got bored of me. And so I asked myself, where have you seen that behavior before? That people will just quickly move on to the next person. And I said, my dad. He remarried a lot. He was always moving on to the next family. And I also do that. I think others function how I do. Maybe I just fear getting hurt, but I never believe people want to stick around. So I always assume that it's temporary. So I never get attached. And when I start to get hurt, or before I start to get hurt, I retract and I run away and I delete their number. I block them. I remove them. I ignore them. I ice them out. And I remove all my care to make myself detached so that way they can't hurt me, which is not what I want to do anymore. You know, that's like not healthy, but sometimes it's so impulsive and I can't feel like I can't control myself. And in those moments, like I need something else. I need like a change in behavior. You know, I need to stop the thoughts while they're happening in my head. But yeah, it's a defense mechanism. And back to the question, what makes you think people hate you? Like, what do they do? I said when they exclude me from conversations, or when they show no interest in me and they don't ask questions about me, when they like only talk about themselves, you know, I'm like, okay, obviously, why am I here? When they never check in on me, when they don't try to get to know me on a deeper level, all of these actions just give me the conclusion that they just don't care. Or when someone doesn't stand with me, yeah. Or when they don't pick me first, or they don't stand by my side or take my side, even though there could be like a variety of reasons for that. And it's different in every situation. Emotions aren't always logical, but if you write them down and really, really listen to what's going on in your head, then it helps you make sense of it. That was for the question, how do you know? How do you know people hate you? And the answer was, I don't know. And so the second question, has anyone ever said that they actually hate you and they don't care about you? And my answer is, honestly, I don't remember. I mean, like people online in middle school and like haters, but I didn't care about them. But no one's ever said that they hate me to my face except for my older brother. Um, he told me a lot that like I was really annoying and that I'm a burden and like etc. Shouldn't have been born. Probably from the ages of like 10 to 13. You know, we used to be friends as kids, but then he started bullying me and then we just never talked after that. So I assumed that's how he still felt. So that's kind of where the cognition came from, that I was really annoying and that nobody cared about me. And then I would take that thought and look at opportunities in life and be like, oh, you got mad at me, therefore, oh, I remember, everyone hates me. And so it would just like solidify in my head that that was the reason why, and that I was just unwanted, and that I was just really fucking annoying. And so the third question I asked was, have you asked them? No. No, I haven't. But why do you think every single person by default hates you? Well, I guess it's just cemented in my head. I walk up to strangers now thinking that I'm bothering them, when I used to, and this is why it hurt me so much, and this is why I'm like, I know I can change this, because I used to be so confident. I used to believe, 100% believe, that I had value to give, that I was needed, that I was loved, and that my presence was a gift, and I had a lot to give to people, and that I always had something to contribute. And so anywhere I went, any person I met, I was just adding value to their life. Over time, after getting hurt again and again and again and again and again and again, getting my heart broken by like friends and people I met along the way, not even by like love, you know, like not by like romantic love. Um, yeah, that changed. After a lot of pain, that just changed. Recently, I was believing that I give bad vibes because of my low self-confidence, and people feel it energetically and immediately react. And negative thoughts like guilt, shame, um, whatever, it naturally repulses people. If someone's walking around with a lot of like negative feelings, other people will feel that on an energetic plane. Like, we are energetic beings. And I believed that because I had all this in myself, all I was doing was repulsing people. So anywhere I went, if I was next to anyone, I believed that I was weighing them down because of my low cognitions, like because of how I felt. I believed that my emotions bring everyone else down. So all I'm doing is weighing everyone else around me down. And that was probably the case, bro. I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. But that's pretty much. And so because I felt like I was weighing everyone down, I believed that no matter what they said, I was toxic to them and that I was the issue and that there was just no like you can't love me because I am the problem. So it was a cycle. It's a cycle, okay? And it's a self-fulfilling cycle. Okay, because I believe it, then I see it, and then it happens, and then I believe it again. And so it's just a cycle. Um, because like I had all these negative emotions, negative thoughts, etc. And like no one wants to hear that. Like no one fucking cares. No one cares about your fucking problems. Like boo-hoo, bitch, go cry about it. That's kind of the whole like I learned that if I was going to have a friend, I would have to be smiley, bubbly, positive. Everyone would have to have a good time around me, because if I talk about something depressing, all I'm going to do is bring people down. So I can't talk about anything about how I actually feel, because that's going to kill the mood. And no one wants to fucking hear that. So I would only talk about good things, but then I never felt like I was actually making genuine connections because I can't open up. Because no one wants to fucking hear that. Like, no one should have to bear witness to my mess, you know? Like, it's kind of like when guests come over to your house, like, you clean the house. Unless it's a really close friend and, like, you don't care. But that's the thing. It's like, I was, like, making friends. I didn't have friends. I was, like, new relationships, you know? So, of course, I didn't want to be, like, trauma dumping on anybody. You know, I'm not that type of person. My mind, okay, so I'm continuing to read now. I feel like my mind is a ball of yarn all tangled up and no one needs to be involved. Basically, my current emotional state pushes people away instead of attracts them. And I used to attract people. I used to feel like everyone was drawn to me. I used to feel like light, but now I am an ember. So then I asked myself, well, what changed? And I said, I got my heart broken again and again and again by everyone around me. And instead of having a pure heart like when I did as a teenager before anyone hurt me, now it's a very experienced heart. And I can't exactly go back to how I felt before. I can't exactly undo all the pain and just forget, you know? But maybe I can learn to shine again. And so then I asked myself, well, what made you shine before? And I said gratitude. Being thankful is the ultimate prayer. It is the highest vibrational state to be in. It's the only thing that will keep me in the state of have instead of have not. It will keep me in the state of abundance instead of lack. It will keep me in love instead of pain. And it will keep me in light instead of dark. Dark isn't bad, but it keeps you dragged down, living in your own personal hellscape mentality. If you live in depression, self-hate, anxiety, dread, stress, fear, pain, and torture, instead of love, forgiveness, ease, peace, bliss, joy, serenity, strength, courage, warmth, grace, and bliss, and happiness, and hope, then you're only going to see darkness. You're just as blind only seeing dark as only seeing light, because life is the duality, but it comes in phases. And I want to phase back to the light. I am phasing back to the light. I am, after doing all this, going back in the light right now. So I am molting my old self, shedding my skin, year of the snake ending and all that jazz. And now I'm shaping myself into who I want to be again, because I'm tired of suffering. So gratitude is the answer. What would it take to make you think that people liked you? And after realizing that it comes from within and not from external validation, I said, when I shift my energy from lack to radiating love and abundance and peace, then it'll naturally attract people. I will be the state of love instead of being desperate and like begging for it. And that's what I was doing. I was fucking begging for it. Like every single person I met, I like low key was pretty much just like, love me, love me, love me. Like, why don't you love me? Am I the problem? I'm the fucking problem. Of course you hate me, because everyone hates me. Like, ah, tiresome. And I didn't mean to be. And I was holding it in, trying to act normal, putting on the facade that I wasn't bothered. And it was exhausting. And I'm just tired of it. And I'm done with it because it's not helpful and I'm not getting anywhere. I'm just going to fix it myself and start from within. So, what would being loved look like to me? Showing up for me, coming to my art shows, streaming my songs, hanging out with me, planning days together, reaching out, staying in contact, supporting me with just their presence, like riding the waves with me, like just being with me, you know, or hyping me up in person, social media, like having bonding moments together, sharing memories together, like talking freely about whatever with no judgment, elevating my life with their support like a real friend, including me in things, speaking highly of me, and like seeing me for who I am, like noticing the small things about me, learning who I am and how I work and what I like and don't like, just getting to know me and being interested, taking interest in me. And these are the ways that I would know you take interest in me, is if you learn things about me and you like show up for me, and just love me as I am. And I realized that kind of sounds like a parent. Like a parent would come to your shows. A parent would like encourage you. A parent would love you as you are regardless. Like a parent would be there for you. And so that's kind of its own issue why I crave that. But I do want it in friends too. If you want to be loved, is there anything you can do to get that? And I don't mean like manipulating people. I mean, like, well, what can you change? And I said to be in a space of love. Like, I'll get what I give. And so that's the key. That's what I've concluded here. And this is why, honestly, therapy doesn't work for me, because I do all this on my own. And it's nice to talk to someone about it, because I don't want to just like pour my problems and my issues onto people. But like ultimately, like I said before, this work, it does come down to you. You have to actually do it. If you don't know where to start, just start asking yourself why you feel that way, and just see what happens. See what comes out of your head, dude. A lot of it starts in childhood, and a lot of it starts for a bullshit reason. Like one person said one thing 10 years ago and now you still believe it. For why? You're not helping yourself to hold on to the past, but you can learn from it and then make a better future. So can you say that you make other people feel loved and appreciated? And my answer is currently, as always, I try to. And here are the ways that I try. I actively try to make other people feel loved and appreciated. I include everyone in conversations. I am always open to Like if I'm going out and I'm with my friend and we're talking to new people, I'm like, come with us, like hang with us. I always include everyone. Um, or if I'm having conversations with a group of people, I make sure everyone's heard and that we're not like talking over each other and that someone wasn't left out, you know, that feels like shit. I always like ask everyone questions in the group. I'm not just talking to one person. I want to get I try to include everyone and pay attention to everyone because I know what it's like to feel left out and I don't want to make anyone ever feel left out. And I personally don't ever want to be the reason that someone went unheard and then they thought no one cared about them. So I do what I would want people to do for me, kind of. Um, and I ask important questions and I get to know them, but I also use like a balance of humor and joking and having a good time and like making memories together. So we have like deep, meaningful connections, but then we also have the like fun, silly times that you can look back on and remember, you know? But you got to have both because just having deep connections with someone but making no memories isn't going to be the same as like having someone that you can go back and forth and just express yourself fully with. So I try to express like fully. I try to touch all the bases. Like you can talk about anything with me, you know? I try to be a safe space for people. And like I'll hype them up on anything that they do, anything that they send me. I try to encourage them for all their like passions. You know, I lend an ear when they need it. I'm like, I give emotional support, I give encouragement. Like these are all the things that I choose to do to try to make people feel loved. You know, I reach out to them when I'm thinking about them. I'll make them gifts. I give them gifts. So because I know what it's like to think no one cares, I want to be I want to make sure that the people in my life know that there is someone who cares about them. I don't know why I'm crying so hard. I guess I'm just realizing this about myself that I really do uh, I really do try to make people feel loved and seen and supported and cared for. And I want them to know that even if they think no one else is there for them, that like I'm still there for them, you know? Like at least you have me, I guess. God, I do that because that's what I want. I wish I had someone that felt like I. Okay, I had a little technical difficulty there, but moving on. So, yeah, I just try to be there for people and be someone who supports them and like who doesn't judge them, you know. What ways do people show me love? Okay, so here I'm trying to prove myself wrong. If I think people hate me so much, then okay, in what ways do people show me love in their language that I just haven't fully recognized? So, what currently makes me feel loved and supported when she gets super excited when she sees me and she gives me a hug, when she lends me an ear, when she shares his feelings with me, when he calls me and we talk, when he says she misses me, when he says he wants to hang out and he tells me things that he doesn't tell anyone else, when he makes me things and gives me gifts, when said that she was glad to meet me and I knew that she really meant it, when she continues to reach out to me even though it's been a long time since we've hung out and I know that he still thinks about me, when Pastor still sends me music and art videos even though we aren't close friends, when she said that she'd cry if I left, when she said that she was worried about me, when Luke said that the best shifts were when I was there, when Phil said that my presence is a gift, when they said that they can trust me and that they're glad to have me back, when Ryan gets excited to show me what he made, and when mom sends me useful links and tips and lends me an ear and supports me, when she tells me that she loves me and I know she really means it. So I am loved and people do appreciate me. You just have to remember to see it and not be blinded by the darkness. Don't jump to a giant conclusion without looking at the other side of things too. If you really, really believed one thing, well, challenge it. Like prove it, you know? And if you can prove yourself wrong, then let go of that belief that you had before. After I finished writing this, I was sobbing. I was so relieved. I was so relieved because for so long I had thought that I was hated, but I just wasn't looking at what people did to show that they actually care. You know, all the times that they like were showing me with their actions that they cared about me instead of saying it with words. You know, all the things that they would do. I just wasn't seeing it. So, this is my vulnerable therapy session I had with myself. And oh my God, that's so loud. I really encourage anyone to get a journal and start journaling. And if you don't know what to write about, I hope that this helped as a framework. I'm definitely going to continue doing this because, like I said, there were 24 things in here that I have in my head that I don't want there anymore. I don't want to believe these things anymore because it's really harming myself and my relationships with life around me. So I have 23 more to go now that I know that everyone doesn't hate me. Now that I know that. And now that I realize, okay, hey, you made that up. You were told it a couple times as a kid, and then now as an adult, you think that. So, yeah. Anyway, I hope this video was helpful to somebody, kind of putting my heart out there, and I just hope you guys are gentle with it, because don't be mean in the comments. I've never like posted anything like personal before, like about anything except for my art and like my hobbies. I don't post about shit like this. So here's to trying new things, and I hope everyone has a much, much, much better year. I believe 2026 will be a much better year once we actually get to the Lunar New Year in February. Hell yeah, bro. It's going to be so much better. I know it. So I'm sending all the blessings to everyone, all the love and happiness to everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned. Stay tuned for another video. Okay. You're... All right. Peace out.